Here we go, right in front.
All right, welcome to week 4 of Tim and Jack, our sad motherfuckers. We got we got a little week 2 recap. We got a little waiver wire for week 3 and preview week 3. So yeah, we'll do a quick little recap. Me and Tim did pretty well on the picks last week, on covering the spread. Tim went 4-1, and our only dispute was if Jill was going to cover the 19. I said Ryan would cover the 19 points, and that got me to 5-0 on the week. Um, so let's start right at the top. Kiss the Rings versus hashtag Spanish swag. Hermes had a hot start on Thursday. Want to click on the matchup, Tim? I can't remember. Did he
Yep.
have a hot start or did you just have a bad start? I
I
think
had a
probably.
bad start. I started Keon Coleman.
Oh, right. And after that game, Hermes was projected to win by 23.6. And then we can see here that Tim turned it around with just kind of, I feel like just solid performances throughout. No one really popped off. I mean, neighbors popped off. I shouldn't say no one really popped off, but I feel like you just had consistent performances from your players, and then just tough games from some of Hermes stars.
Yep. No, just a bunch of solid points, 14, 15 points for me. Like you said, neighbors. I think the big one though, Pacheco going down 6 to 8 weeks. That's tough for me.
Yeah. You want to touch on that? Who do you think fills the role here to as your RB2 while Pacheco's out?
I'd love to tell you Najee. I've been holding on to Najee. I had him as green infamously in our rankings. So you know what, Najee, you got to show me something here, buddy. All right, it's been 3 years. Don't let nobody come into your house, eat your food, do what you gotta do.
Hey, big in a big spot this week against Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers. That'll be one of the games of the week. It'd be interesting to see how the running backs are deployed. But yeah, as you scroll down, you can see you got maybe start thinking about starting Braylon Allen as he's starting to show you something for real. And I know next week they got a tough or no, sorry, they got an easy matchup against Denver, and maybe a similar game script where he gets a lot of carries in the second half as well.
Yeah, just to recap back, I'm excited for Najee's 20 carries for 30 yards this week. That's going to be fun. But Braylon Allen, potentially. I mean, I might be starting him over Najee next week because I do think that backfield is probably like a 60-40 split where Brees is getting a majority of the carries. But I think that offense is going to be run heavy, and let's keep Aaron Rodgers from making or putting him in situations that he shouldn't be in. And let's just run the ball. We got two good running backs. So if Braylon Allen can get me 10 touches a week, I think that that's good enough for him to put up a solid stat line every week.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, obviously, when he has easier games on the schedule and they got high spreads against Denver and New England, you think he maybe get a few more touches even. But yeah, as you
Yeah.
said, I think he's going to be incorporated in the offense even when they are in some of those tougher games. So yeah, I think you got a Bull, and I could see that you put his nickname as Young Bull. I forgot you did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, just it's a tough loss for Hermes. He gets off to the hot start, and I mean, he's got the pieces. You can see he's got Montgomery, he's got Ridley and Shaheed on the bench, but it's just tough to trust some of these guys and play them week to week, and you just gotta hope you play them at the right time. We like to mention Hermes with his hundredth loss. I'll say it again, but I think he still has the pieces to win some games here. So hope he doesn't get too down on his season too quickly.
Yeah. Winning by less than 3 points. I don't feel proud that I was his 100th loss. Um, but yeah,
Poetic
no, he,
justice.
he definitely has the pieces. I know you and I talked about Rashid Shaheed after the draft, that was a pick that we really liked.
Yep.
I think that offense has looked really good. The Saints have looked great. I hope you put some money on the Saints actually making the playoffs this year.
No, the one year I didn't. The one year I was so down on them. But yeah. So we can move on to the next matchup.
All right. So this was you and Andrew, and
Yeah,
I know
just sorry. Go
that's okay.
ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Your
Just an
show.
absolute beatdown. I mean, doubled up his points. Sorry to do it to you, Ralph. I mean, tough start for him. Like you go out there to gets his third or fourth concussion, and only gives him 5.5 points on Thursday night. That's a tough start, but I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't even, as you can see, I didn't even need my quarterback as my skill position players all just had massive games. Kamara had a huge game that was fun to watch. Dobbins has now put together 2 weeks in a row where he looks like he actually is gonna be the lead guy there in LA, and that's something I needed because my RB2 spot was very shaky. I basically had a lot of timeshare guys filling in. And if Dobbins can be a guy that gets consistent 10 to 15 carries, I think that'll be fantastic for me because Mike and my receivers, I think Nico Collins has shown that he could be in the wide receiver one conversation, honestly, this season. So excited about that. And I think Ayuk, I'm happy to get off to a 2-0 start, even with Ayuk on a slow start. I think he gets it going too. Um, and as for Ruff, I mean, he's got these players like Jamar Chase. I think he has some better games ahead of him. Same with Swift. Um, he's got a few guys, but if he doesn't start stringing some wins together soon, it might be a long season for him.
Yes, I think I want to hit on both of these.
Yeah.
At what point does Ruffin consider, as we're going into Dynasty, starting to sell some of these assets? He's got four wide receivers here with DK, Debo, um, who else?
Jamar and
And Devontae, yeah, and
Devontae.
Devontae. I mean, at one point does he start considering selling? I know he traded for Devontae, and I think it was a one,
Yeah,
three, and a four.
It was a
Yeah,
few picks this year that Ryan had. I think a 1 and a 3. Yeah, at least.
and maybe someone like Kevin, because I think he's a little shallow at receiver, is
Yeah.
willing to dish out a one or give him some other picks. But I think at some point, Ruff's got to look at potentially selling if things don't turn around soon.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, I think that's been his thing for a few years now, where he's had these four receivers and unfortunately can only play three of them each week. And I mean, Metcalf last week was on his bench and had a massive game,
Yeah.
but I mean, I get it. It's hard to start Metcalf over any of those other three guys.
Yep.
So I agree. He's got to either trade if he wants to try to win now, make a trade for a stud running back with one of these guys, or like you said, maybe if he loses a few more, he looks towards the future and trades a few of these assets for picks and just builds around maybe Jamar Chase.
Yep. Now, in the on your team, Kamara and J.K. Dobbins. I think J.K. Dobbins is probably the most like wild story in fantasy this year, coming off of what he had multiple ligaments two
Yeah.
years ago in his knee, and then the Achilles first game of last year, and he's what a top five guy this
Oh, I'm
year.
sure it might even be 2 or 3,
Top five, yeah.
top 5. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna get too excited because he just does have that injury history, and I'm sure they'll kind of ease him into it. So I'm sure they'll kind of be slow with him and won't give him like 20 carries a week. So I won't get too excited here, but I'm just happy to have a little more consistency at the running back position than I would have thought to start the season.
No, agreed. We want to go to the next one.
Yeah.
All right, so we had T-Dons versus Carney. I know you and I both projected Carney to cover here. I think it was a 14 or 16 point spread.
Yeah, 16.
Yep. So Carney covered, but he still lost by about 10 points.
Yep.
And I think
Yeah.
it ultimately comes down to quarterback, just looking at it here. Josh Allen putting up less than 10.
Yeah, that's tough because I mean, Bills go out there and win that game pretty handily. You think Josh Allen has a big game, but then you see the stats, and a lot of it was James Cook and the defense. I think had a touchdown too. So yeah, it's tough. I mean, this one actually low key came down to Monday night. I think Devontae Smith either dropped a pass or like had a pass at the goal line too that could have cut it to at least 3 or 4. So that this game was actually a little bit sweatier than it might seem initially because Devontae Smith was going on Monday night and yeah, I mean Tyler just keeps on winning. He's had the injuries. He's one of the owners that has some of the worst injury luck in league history, and he's someone that just continues to turn out good players and start good players and have McCaffrey out. I mean, luckily he's got Jordan Mason, and then AJ Brown looks like he's going to be out a few weeks, but he's definitely got some pieces that can fill in. But I mean, if you're gonna get Tyler, if you're gonna beat Tyler, it's going to be his next few weeks while Brown and McCaffrey are out. So, be interested to see if he's able to kind of pull out a few more of these squeaky wins.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even see this, but his kicker and defense put up 29 points out of
Yeah,
106.
that's hard to overcome.
Yep.
And that's just Brand Aubrey's key. I mean, we talked about Fairbairn a bit, but he might be kicker one as well. Aubrey, just he's automatic from 50 plus. It's crazy. But yeah, I don't know. Tyler's bench is a little bit thin, I would say, especially with the injuries. But I mean, as I said, he's someone that can. I say that, and then he's got Jackson Smith and Njigba on the bench. So yeah, as he always does. He's got pieces. And same with Carney. His bench is a little bit thin. So once we start getting into bye weeks, it might be tough for him. We'll see what he does with Pickens because even though Pickens didn't have a great game on his bench, I know you get a lot of stuff called back where it was holding on the offense on like a 40-yard catch. I think he maybe even had a touchdown that was called back due to offensive penalty, and that was on Patrick Surtain too, one of the best in the league. So
Yeah.
be interested to see if he starts getting Pickens into his lineups.
All right, we want to jump to the next game here.
Mhm. Yeah, we should probably do these ones a little bit quicker actually to get the week 3 preview in there. But yeah, so Kevin, I think what we say, it was a 20-point favorite at the time, maybe a little bit less actually. Um
And we both picked
no, it was
Kevin.
12. It was 12, only 12-point
Okay.
favorite. Yeah. So yeah, we both picked Kevin. And he came out and showed out. And I think it was Rashid had someone on Thursday night, right? Oh no, Kevin had Tyreek. Oh no, sorry. Kevin had Tyreek and James Cook, so he was already pretty far ahead after Thursday night when we did our preview last week. And hey, he showed up and capitalized. Jalen Hurts a big game. Henry scored a touchdown late. Um, and just not enough from Rashid's guys. Here's yeah, Brees had his 20-point game. Gibbs had a solid game, but you need more from Cooper and Olave, and of course every off season we hype up Pitts. Everyone hypes up Pitts. I make trade offers. Rashid denies them, thinking that Pitts is going to be him, and he shows out again. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I think Cousins loves his tight ends, so I'm not saying I'm not writing off Pitts, but
But you're writing
you
off
just want to
Pitts.
see more from the guy.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know if he ever turns into anything special,
Right.
because this is what, year three of him just plodding
Yeah.
along.
Maybe even year 4 at this point.
Yeah. And
Right. Yeah. Either way.
or single digit touchdowns, like a handful, if that.
Yeah. And hey,
Yeah.
I mean I get suckered too. I bet his over 4.5 touchdowns this year. So and wait, he did get one week 1.
He's
So
got
again,
one.
I'm not writing him off. Um but yeah, I know Rashid. I think Rashid pick up a tight end recently just to kind of as an insurance. See the one that grabbed not
No, you know
mistaken.
what? No, no, no. Because I don't think he bid for Likely, and then Joe beat us on Ingram.
Oh, right. He bid for Ingram. That's right. But yeah, I mean Rashid has the pieces. Quentin Johnson looks like a nice pickup. I think we mentioned that last week. So he'll be able to find some spots and Ken Walker once he comes back. That's someone that's in his lineup week to week. So again, Rashid's 0-2, but hey, I still think he has one of the better teams in the league and he'll be able to turn things around.
Yeah.
And then Kevin, he just wins games. He just wins games in the regular season. He has a team that's built to win now, and he'll consistently put up points. I think he's 130 plus on both week 1 and 2. Um, so just love what Kevin pulls out here, and even though he's got a few injuries, which we'll talk about in the week 3 preview, I think he still has enough pieces to stay competitive.
And another one here where defense and kicker put
Yep.
up 30 points.
Yeah, why don't you click on Fairbairn real quick? Let's see if I can my prediction's true. Oh, he's
Two.
kicker 2. Kicker 2. Okay, Aubrey's probably
Who
K1.
has who has more points than him? Maybe one of the Thursday night
It's
kickers.
gotta be. Oh,
It
maybe
has to be, right?
it's either that or Aubrey because Aubrey when we looked
Yeah.
at Tyler, Aubrey had like 20 as well, which is crazy because they lost by like 20 plus points, the Cowboys, and still got 20 points from the kicker.
What is his like overall ranking? Overall 18th.
18th.
18th best player in the
That's
league right
crazy.
now.
That's crazy to think about.
That's so stupid.
All right. Yeah, let's go to the next one. Big matchup, obviously, and good win from Kevin.
All right, and then the last one here,
Here we
we
go.
had Ryan versus Jill. I think this is the one that we were split on. What was it, a 19-point spread?
Yeah, I believe it was 19. Let me confirm that. Yep, 19-point spread in Jill's favor. And that was, I
Yep,
mean, that was obviously after Achan on Thursday night
yep.
popped off. Um, so the projections were obviously swung in Jill's favor. And hey, first battle of the Hendrick household. Ryan's the veteran, Jill's the newcomer, and she had a big win week one, had a hot start on Thursday. You know, she was feeling good. Um, so Ryan had to show out, and he did. He had to show Samuel, who's the veteran in the house, and he did a great job of that. You know, starting the right guys, and his guy, Justin Jefferson, just having an absolute monster week. And that I know he had a 97, 98 yard touchdown,
Big touchdown, yeah.
and I'm not
And
sure what Ryan was more excited for, that 97-yard touchdown or the birth of his son Samuel.
or Marvin Harrison showing out. Two
Yep.
TDs in the first quarter.
He did that. He did that after week one. I know he was a little nervous. But that's just Ryan. Ryan will panic sometimes, but I'm glad he stayed the course, kept him in the lineup, and he had an absolute monster game. And what you want to touch on, Brian decided to start Chris Godwin and it paying off.
I like it. I mean, Baker's look good. I think that offenses look good. Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. 20 plus points from your three receivers. It's gonna
Yeah.
be you're gonna be winning games with it like that.
Yeah. I mean, basically, 70 points between the three receivers almost?
Yeah, home's more than Ruffin's full team.
You don't have to say that. That's just not needed. I don't think that there was any difference makers on the bench. Maybe Charbonnet for Jill, but I don't think that she would have really started him.
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, you just need more from the receivers, and I mean, Wilson had a decent game on Thursday, um, but
And there's not,
she's gonna be pretty happy with her running backs to start the season.
yeah, there's not much you can do about Waddle either, where Tua goes down and Waddle's the number two guy on the offense.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked yet, but I'd be interested to see if she's starting Waddle this week with Tua out. But yeah, big win for Ryan. And with that, I think we'll move over to waivers. There wasn't too much on waivers, so this should be kind of quick, unless you want to go through some of these superlatives or
I don't think that we need to go through the superlatives.
yeah, I think we're already on a little bit of a time crunch.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go down. So to start the waivers, Ruffin before waivers even ran, drop Tua, surprising drop. What do we think about that?
I love it. I think it's a huge statement. You know, if you're gonna get concussed and not play, not finish games, how about you get off my team right now? I love it. You know, I think even though it's dynasty, you want to keep your quarterbacks. We're not in super flex, so I don't think Tua is going to be a every week starter even a few years from now. So you know what? Get off my team, man. If you're gonna be putting up 5 points and taking hits like that on a Thursday night.
I totally get where you're coming from. I don't know if I agree with it though. I mean, we're talking about a guy when he's healthy is probably going to be like a top 12 quarterback every season. And with Tua, I feel like there's games where you know when to start him and when to bench him.
Right.
And I think
Home games.
yeah, at the very least, there's some trade value with Tua, right?
Yeah, true. If a couple quarterbacks go down later in the season, and with him having or had Purdy and Tua could have dished one of them, but looks like he's rolling Purdy the rest of the season, and Purdy's been playing well. So um, yeah, interesting drop, but I love the statements. I love the narratives.
All right, so getting into waivers, Henny dropping Dalton Schultz for Deonta Foreman. He spent $50, the only one to bid. I don't really have much of a comment on that, but we'll see what
Uh,
happens in the backfield.
yeah, the only thing I'll say is I know Ryan Love has a special place in his heart for Deontay Foreman, as I think he's been a waiver wire pickup for him for a few years and has given them some solid value. So that
D-
might be a little more sentimental than anything.
does he have all three Cleveland running backs right now? Chubb,
That's a
Foreman,
great
and
point. I didn't think about it that way. He does. He definitely does. So yeah, I
all
don't know how
right.
you would ever decide to start one or the other, but in case one goes down, now he's got a guy that's going to get 20, 25 carries. So maybe that's his thinking.
And then Carney, that Fantasy Pro subscription really paying off for him, picking up Jordan Whittington, dropping the Indianapolis Colts. He spent $50 on it. New Henny 5, so Jill, right? This is Jill.
Yep. Yep.
And Jill put a zero bid in. So Carney gets his Fantasy Pro special. We'll see what happens, but there's injuries right now in LA, so hopefully he gets some targets.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get why he did it. I just don't think that this guy's getting into his lineup in the next 4 or 5 weeks. Maybe once bye weeks start, but this is a Whittington's a guy that you're playing this week if you need him. Like because I mean Cup's coming back at some point, Puka's coming back at some point. So if you're not playing Whittington in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm not sure why you put any money on him, but maybe he does fit him in the lineup and he pops off. We'll see it a few other times, but I love Jill putting in the $0 bets. Just because hey, if you can get the guy, you get the guy.
Yep.
Um, if not, whatever, you weren't spending any money anyways. So um, and so yeah, we can go down to the next one. I like this. I like this move from you. You can touch upon it a little bit more, but grabbing a guy that's put up a couple decent stat lines in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, this is really speculative for me. So, like Alex Pierce, I dropped Isaac Arendo. I spent 27 fab on him. Who, same thing, Jill, $0 bid. Um, just one of these guys. I feel like there's guys every single year that I look at on the waiver where they put up a couple of big stat lines in week 1 and 2, and I'm like, they're not going to get targets, they're not going to get touches, and they're
Yep.
relevant for the rest of the season. Not necessarily saying that that's what's going to happen with Alec Pierce. This is just kind of one of these. Let me grab him. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. No. No. I like it, and as much as I think Pittman's the better receiver, Richardson likes to get the ball downfield, and Pierce is the deep ball threat. So yeah, I love the pickup.
Yep. Jack, you picked up the Cleveland Browns defense and dropped Jaleel McLaughlin. I think that was really surprising for me to see you drop him. I know he didn't have a good stat line.
Yeah, I'm kind of just yeah, I don't know. That Denver offense is so bad at this point that even if like best case scenario, I mean, knock on wood, I don't want to root for injuries, but like Javonte goes down and Jalil's the starter, I still don't. Yeah, he could probably get me 10, 12 points, but he just hasn't. Even this past game, as you said, I think he was only on the field for 15 to 20 snaps total and got a handful of touches. So
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't love it, but at the same time, we've seen throughout these first couple weeks that defense can win you games, and been this was another thing. Carney didn't have a good defense, so I figured he would go for Cleveland Browns, and I wanted to kind of block him as well as grab defense for myself. And
gotcha.
I didn't feel comfortable dropping the Steelers defense either. And I don't love carrying two defenses, but hey, if I have two of the best defenses in the league, then I'll kind of pick my spots, and they have a few games here where I can play them
Yeah,
in a row. So I figured it was kind of worth the fab. I could probably play them 3 straight weeks here.
no, agreed. Looking at these matchups, so New York Giants this week, great matchup. Las Vegas at Las Vegas, probably
Yeah.
still a really good matchup. That's good defense. And then at Washington, same thing. I
So
think that's a good start for you.
yeah, and then a little bit tougher down the stretch. So yeah, we'll see. Take it week by week.
You want to touch on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just grab him and stash him type pickup. I had him earlier, but it was pretty clear he wasn't going to be getting touches this season. And I don't know. I'm trying to win this year. 20 roster spots. I can't have too many spots in my roster where I'm just holding guys for future. And I respect. I think Vidal is the better hold than Lobby is. So I like it from for him.
Yeah, so let's go back a second. So Carney picked up what is this? I'm just going to say Vidal, the Chargers running back,
Yep.
and he dropped Dylan Lowby. He spent $20, the only bid. Um, I mean, it makes sense to me. We'll see what happens. Like you said, Dobbins is injury prone.
Right.
Hopefully, he stays healthy. And Gus Bus has just been a solid back.
Yeah, but nothing
Um,
special.
yeah, so I think for dropping Dylan, it makes sense. And then you mentioned earlier, Jill put in a bunch of $0 bids. She does get Jalen Naylor for $0. I like the pickup.
Oh, 100%. I think it's probably one of the better pickups of the week as long as I mean if Addison stays out for a few more weeks here too, if Jefferson ever misses time, this guy's proven that he can command some targets and catch touchdowns. And it's very eerily similar to Addison last year, who maybe didn't put up crazy stat lines, but just caught touchdowns. I think he had 10 plus touchdowns last year, and
Yeah,
Naylor has started the season with touchdowns in back-to-back weeks. So that offense feeds their receivers. So yeah, I love the pickup.
yep, no, agreed. And like I said earlier about my pickup, it's just always these guys who put up surprising stat lines in the first couple of weeks who just managed to do it. Only 25 years old. So we're going into Dynasty.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's actually worth a keep. We do have 20 keepers, but still, I think it's a good speculative ad for.
Oh yeah. Agreed.
And do we just want to run through the rest of free agency here? We'll cut it off and then do week three.
Yeah, I think I like that. I think that's a good pickup here by Hermes grabbing Gesicki. He had a pretty good week last week, and it looks like Burrow actually trusts him. So I think that's a good ad, especially after dropping Ingram last week. It's a good pickup. Love the pickup by you too on Zach Ertz. Obviously, your tight end position has been a little shaky, probably your shakiest spot. So yeah, grabbing Ertz, who looks like a security blanket for Jane Daniels because doesn't look like he likes to push the ball outside to his receivers. So I
Yeah.
think Ertz is a good pickup.
No, agreed. I think he's just a guy who's going to give me points. I want to say he's like a top 10. Where is he at? This is crazy to me. Top 10 tight end through 2 weeks, and he's put up 12.5 points. Are you kidding me?
Look at that, top 10, but he's 178 overall. That just goes to
Yeah.
show like how crazy the tight end position is.
Yeah. It's been stinky this year, to say the least.
Yeah.
T-Don's picking up Cam Akers. I know there were some injury concerns down in Houston with Mixon and, what's his name?
Here's
Pierce. Thank you.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
Akers is going to start today. But again, if it's something like if he's not playing Akers right today, then I don't know. What's the not what's the point? Like maybe his matchup, we'll see in his matchup, they needed a running back, so maybe it was more of blocking his matchup. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean he's gonna be the starter this week. Maybe Mixon gets hurt again, and he's got a starter for the rest of the season, I think is the hope. But I think it's tough. It's basically the RB3 on the depth chart, and if you're not playing him this week,
yeah.
um,
What value does he carry?
right.
Yeah. And then Rough Dog changing out kickers here. So he picked up Blake Groupie, dropped Jason Sanders.
Love
I
it.
don't. All right, calm down. Rough Dog again here, just picking up Juwan Jennings to replace Tua. I do like Juwan Jennings,
Yeah,
but
no, I like this. I actually got maybe one of my locks of the week. I got a Jawan Jennings touchdown plus 260 ticket on my card right
what?
now. So we'll
what?
see.
What are you doing?
We'll see.
What?
I
What are
thought it
you
was
doing?
I thought it was good value with Kayla and Debo out.
All right. Well, we'll see. Kevin picking up Fryermuth. That's a real hard string for me to see him off the waiver. And
Yeah.
then dropping Darnell Mooney. They got a new Weapon X down there in Atlanta with Ray McLeod, right?
Yep. Number 34.
It's so ridiculous. But yeah,
Um,
Kevin picks him up. Hermes yesterday picked up Brenton Strange,
oh,
dropped Pierre Strong. I do like the pickup. This was one of the guys I was considering going for. He got 6 targets last week, total of 8 points.
Yeah.
Um, and tight end position is stinky, but you
Yeah.
gotta find someone.
Didn't realize how young he was either. That's a great pickup.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to go back to Freiermuth, I think that's going right from waivers into Kevin's starting lineup here as Kittle looks like he's officially out. And yeah, he's gotten 4 targets each game, and I guess the hope is the Steelers finally throw a touchdown. Um, but we'll see. Yeah, I think it's a solid pickup for the week, waiting for Kittle to get healthy. And then you grabbing
And
Tua.
yeah, me grabbing Tua, dropping Taysom Hill. Um, I have Ricky Pearsall right now on IR. I got Pacheco on IR. Pearsall looks like he is going to come back. He's going to be active for week 5.
Oh wow, nice.
I know a couple of weeks ago, I think he was like working out like literally days after he got shot. Um, and
Bold.
I saw a blurb on Pearsall that he was back at practice and like practicing in full already.
Oh
So
fuck yeah.
I think he comes back right for week 5, and Tua probably slides in. So I got to carry Tua on my team for 2 weeks here. But again, I do
Yeah.
think Tua carries some value. I certainly don't think that he's a every week start. Obviously, dealing with that last year on my team, but I
Yep.
think he's got some value, and he's young. I think he's worth the hold on a 20-man roster.
Yeah, agreed. I think if you get the roster space, that why not? Why not hold on to him? I think it's a good ad.
All right, and I think this is a good place to stop because the meeting's about to run out. So we will be back with week 3 previews.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
Da-da-da.